Hello, all the lovely students of Lodha World School. I hope you're having not an incredibly difficult time staying at home, and you guys are staying at home and you're staying safe. Now, this is a little attempt, so you guys continue to learn uh, things related to your syllabus and in a fun way. Okay, so my name is Deshik Vasadya. Some of you might know me, some of you might not, and I am here to teach you about The Merchant of Venice. Now, don't just hate me yet. I know what you're thinking. Oh my god, is something worse than maths is probably The Merchant of Venice. But no, I think by the end of the sessions, you would find that Shakespeare is really fun, and there is a reason why Shakespeare keeps getting performed all over the world all the time. I'm an actor and a director, and Take It From Me is one of the best things out there. Now, what makes it tedious and annoying and just difficult to understand? Well, let's begin with those thou, thy, thine, and thee words. They pop up once in a while, and every time you read them, it gives you a headache. It definitely had the same impact on me. And then one day, I discovered, or rather, I was taught how simple these words are and what they mean and why those words are used along with you. Now, you might say thou and you are essentially the same thing. Some people have this misconception that Shakespeare only uses thou instead of you. No, that's actually not true. If you read the lines carefully, you would see you and thou in equal quantity. So then why have two different ways of saying the same thing? Why not replace thou with you, thy with your, and thine with yours? Why complicate things? Well, there is a very fun, logical, and an amazing reason. So here we go. All right, so let's draw a little table here. We have thou, then thy, then thine, and we also have thee. The other side, we have you, and thy's counterpart, your, yours, and you, which is the object, not the subject, like him or her. Okay, so we have these two ways of addressing someone. You can use you or you can use thou. And when you want to use your, you can also use thy and vice versa. But why two different ways of saying things? There has to be some difference, right? There has to be some reason behind it. So here's the reason. One is a formal way of addressing someone, and one is an informal way of addressing someone. In the same way we use in Hindi tum and aap, right? We use aap where we want to show respect, when we speak to our fathers or our teachers or someone elder to us, when we want to give respect, someone who has more authority. That's the place when we use aap. And when we use tum, we know in a more casual, friendly way to our friends, cousins, someone younger to us, someone at a lower status to us. In Gujarati, similar way, we have tu and tame. In Spanish, there is tu and usted. So many languages have the one which is a formal, respectful way of addressing someone, and the informal and the casual way of addressing someone. So it depends on who you are speaking to. You would use either you, your, and yours, and you, or you would use thou, thine, and thee. So here's my fun question. One of them is more like aap, and other one is more like tum. So which one is which, do you think? Okay, hopefully this will surprise you. You is a formal way of addressing someone. That's it. It's more like aap, your is aapka, yours is similar, and the object part of the sentence, when it is used you, is aapko, and thou, thy, thine, and thee are tum, tumhara, ya tumhari, ya tumhe. So that's right. So whenever you are speaking to a friend, someone younger, someone at a lower status, you would use thou. And when you are speaking to someone who you want to give respect to, you would use aap. Alright? That's it. That's all the difference there is. And it also affects the verbs. So whenever you use thou, you use st version of a verb. It might sound complicated, but it isn't. It's just that we have stopped using these two different ways of addressing in English, and that's why it all sounds very alien. But if you use you, then you would use a sentence like you run, or you go, or you come. And if you use thou, you would use the st version of the verb. So with you go, you would say thou goest. You run, that would be thou runnest. Or you have, that would be thou hath. Or you come, that would be thou comest. That's all. Okay, it's just like when I say I go, and if I say he, the go becomes goes. He goes. It's a grammatical way of differentiating, and that's all there is. But the important part here for you to understand is that the use of you and thou reflects the nature of the relationship. Okay, are these two friends talking, or is it a master talking to a slave, or a slave talking to a master? What's going on? So we'll see now an example of a master and a servant relationship from the play named The Comedy of Errors. Okay, so as you see, this is a scene from the play The Comedy of Errors. I won't go too much into the details. Some of you might know a little bit about it, some of you might not. It's not important. What's important is that this scene is between two characters, Antipholus and Dromio. Okay? Antipholus of Syracuse and Dromio of Syracuse. Syracuse is the name of the city they both come from, and Antipholus is the name of the master, and Dromio is the name of his servant. Okay, this is a scene where Dromio is running in fear, and he runs into his master, Antipholus of Syracuse, and then the scene begins. Now here you see that when Antipholus of Syracuse speaks, he says, "Why, how now, Dromio? Where runnest thou so fast?" Okay? But when Dromio answers, he says, "Do you know me, sir? Am I Dromio? Am I your man?" So you see how Antipholus of Syracuse, being a master, uses thou to address Dromio, and Dromio uses you to address Antipholus of Syracuse, and so forth. Antipholus of Syracuse again uses thou art Dromio, thou art my man, thou art thyself. And then if we go further down, how besides thyself, and then Dromio explains why he has been running, and if we go again further down, he's addressing again with you and the versions of you, your, because he's the servant and is addressing his master. So as we see in this scene, we have use of both you and thou, and that is the case with Shakespeare's all plays. It depends on the situation and specifically on the relationship, just like how we use tum and aap. So hopefully with this, the reading of Shakespeare is simpler, And as we go through the play act by act, I'll point out where these differences of you and thou come in. But some of the obvious places you can already imagine is when Shylock speaks to his servant Lancelot. He's going to be using thou, thy, thee, and of course, when Lancelot speaks to Shylock, he will have to use you. Okay. How about Shylock speaking to his daughter Jessica? I'm not going to give this away. Why don't you guys open those pages and find out? He's talking to his daughter. Would he be using thou or you? And can you see those lines and examples? And when Jessica speaks to her father, she's obviously going to be using you because it's her father. She's going to be respectful towards him. Okay, so these are the differences which will be fun for you to notice, and also hopefully knowing why there is a thou instead of you and you instead of thou will make the reading far less tedious and complicated. Have a good rest of the day.